What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. We have an interesting episode today. We just finished watching Inter smash Lazio 6-0. You're happy about it for some reason.
Yeah, you know, not for Inter, don't get me wrong, but in a way, it's like a signal that this honeymoon that two or three of those teams that we initially would not account to be on the top of the group, all of a sudden they found themselves challenging for Champions League or even Campionato. And some of them, Fiorentina is one of them, Lazio is one of them.
But none of those teams are actually challenging, I don't think.
Well, hello, they were second and third. They're still in striking distance. And so from time to time, a little, smackdown. Unfortunately, it came on with the ends of Inter, but 6-0. It's like they were not smashed, like mashed potatoes. 6, it's a lot.
We'll get to that a little bit later.
6 goals.
I want to start the podcast with one question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Okay.
We could go to this side if it's too touchy for you.
Yeah.
Does Milan miss Maldini?
I've said it from the beginning. As soon as they let him go, that's the first thing I said. Very big mistake. That's the biggest mistake that AC Milan did.
I bring it up because we were just watching. We were looking at some of the protests from the fans who were begging Cardinale to sell. I know you had some mixed feelings about it. I think the fans, they have the right to say whatever they want. They're upset about the results. How do you feel?
Well, the celebration is a celebration. Not to see Maldini not be part of the 125th anniversary of the foundation of AC Milan. It's very sad. I see Borriello that had no business over there. As I said it before, I'd rather to see, Maldini definitely is the icon.
Sure.
His father, himself, no, the son. That's kind of sad, but I'm not sure if the invitation was extended to him and he didn't accept it, or if he wanted to avoid some controversy. Rivera was another one that was not invited. Rivera is an icon. You were not even born, but Rivera made a history of not just AC Milan, of Italy. He's one of the top midfielders ever. Now we have the young, the latest one, Pirlo, Totti, Antonioni.
You know that he was not invited?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'll tell you what. But this is
they weren't there.
I haven't seen him at the stadium. But Rivera is an icon for AC Milan.
I'll close it down even more. I'll condense this question. Does Milan miss Pioli at this point? Was he harshly judged?
No.
Milan finished second place.
Yeah.
No, we don't miss
And
Pioli.
look at them now.
He made Pioli win the Scudetto. Now it looks like a team of average mid-table Serie A players. So I think he deserves a lot more respect than people were given even when they won the Scudetto. So it shows how hard it was to win with this team overall.
You know what? I don't miss Pioli. I'll tell you the reasons why. Pioli is the main reasons why Maldini was
No.
Yes, I'll tell you the reasons why.
I don't think so. Okay.
Maldini is been singled out for bringing the Catelare at AC Milan, and for some reasons, management, they wanted an scapegoat or an excuse to say, hey, we are the new team. It's either my way or the highway, not almost the highway bagel. So
Make sure you vote for Highway Bagel.
Make sure you vote
Link
for
is on
that.
the top.
There is a SKU card. What do you call that?
QR code.
QR code. But anyway, I thought Maldini was a scapegoat because of the Catelare. And I think Maldini wanted to just get rid of Pioli, and Pioli found himself to get all the circle of the management to buy into his idea. And I think Pioli was the reasons why Maldini got kicked out.
What do you think, Pete? What do you think about the Pioli part?
I disagree with you, Antonio. I don't
Forget
think...
about his question. My question.
Your question.
Yeah, this is too speculative. We don't know.
I know everything. I know more than what you think.
So first off, Milan definitely miss Maldini.
Of course we miss Maldini.
I think, the ownership that came in, there was a difference of opinion. I don't think necessarily on Pioli or for Pioli, but more so on where they saw this team and what they wanted to do as far as an investment in the team. And I think Maldini saw it as, hey, we won the Scudetto, we got to the semifinal of Champions League, but that's not good enough. Or meaning we got there, but it wasn't, we got there, not necessarily luckily, but it wasn't really our real value.
He openly admitted that too.
We need to be able to do more. And I think that was the major difference. And then obviously spending 30 million on De Ketelaere and him not living up to it that first year, I think put the nail in the coffin for Maldini. Then with Pioli, I definitely think that Pioli is better than Fonseca because Pioli understands the league better. He knows how to, I think as a man manager, does a better job with his players. Because, we were just listening. How many, issues have come out just in these last 3 months?
Break,
all these
Leao
things
drop,
between
Theo drop,
Theo Hernandez, Leao, this and that. So there's been a lot of.
I'm working harder than my players.
Yeah, it's been a lot of issues here, and not for nothing. It was 125th anniversary for Milan, and there's no Maldini there.
And they play like that.
That could have been Maldini's
okay, whatever.
decision.
But my point is that's such a stain on this celebration because Maldini, you could literally put AC Maldini as far as AC Milan because his father, his son, they all played for Milan and what they meant for Milan. So I think the celebration was not great. Ultimately, the fans were protesting throughout the game, after the game. So it just looked like it was a disaster, and even for the fans, I think they're fed up at this point, and they demand that Milan go back to the levels that they were. But
I understand their point, and I think, fans, they live this. This is their life. It's 24/7. They travel with the teams. They dedicate their life to the team. Some of them spend more money probably on Milan than they do even in their family or more than they probably should, right? So I think that they absolutely have a right to say whatever they want because they feel like it's their club. But I think if you really do take a big perspective of it, and I get that the results are not where we all think Milan should be, and I don't think the results reflect where it is. There's a lot of good stuff that the ownership has brought to Milan. On the field, I get that that's ultimately what they're going to care about, but even the profitability of the club, the marketability, everything that they've improved. I'm not saying that they've made always the right choices in some of the things, and I think one of the conversations we had sitting here last year, and I remember saying is, if you don't have a proven person better than Pioli, a better coach, a serial winner, then maybe you don't have to change just to change. Now, we don't know everything that goes on in the background, but that was always my sentiment. But bottom line, Milan have much better players than the results that they're putting on the field. And whether that's the coach, whether that's the players not having that spirit and that drive, they need to figure it out quickly.
When AC Milan, during their great time, that they besides the great players, you had a president that was always present, Berlusconi, right? Owner. And then Galliani, who when things went bad, he was there every single week. Every single game, he was present. He would speak on behalf of the team. It's a way to connect with the fans where they say, "Hey, things are going bad, right? Guess what? We still have Galliani there that's going to be speaking to the fans, speaking to the media. That's showing that hey, we have a presence here and we're gonna do what's right. We might be going through a rough period, but we're still going to act like AC Milan." And I think that's what's lacking right now. And listen, as far as players, we have to look at this year. Look at Pulisic, what he's doing. Look at Reinders. So not everything is a disaster. I know fans oftentimes can exaggerate certain things. It's obviously the fact that look where Milan are in the standings and their rivals Inter are ahead of them, or Juventus looks like they spent money and are rebuilding, and we're kind of, we're not able to go into that next gear because we have to watch out for profitability and not to spend. And but Juventus are spending all their money. So I think when you have someone that's going to be there, Maldini was there already. Maldini was the guy that
clearly something didn't work
on his
behind the scenes that we don't know. If we try to find positives from the game, Mike, we were watching it together, and you mentioned the two guys, but also Jimenez. An opportunity came up with Jimenez because Theo Hernandez gets dropped. We don't know the exact reason, but if we read between the lines, Fonseca said a week prior that not all the players are trying as hard as he's working. What do you take away from this Milan performance against Genoa, which of course we say that they have to win this game, they should be able to win this game, but what are the positives you take away? Is it just Jimenez?
No, I think it's a total thing. First of all, it's one thing to not win a game, and then there's another thing to not win a game with that performance when it's your anniversary with so many people present and all that stuff. And I think this says a lot about the players and the coach. I think this says a lot about the relationship Fonseca has with the players. And he seems like, I don't think he's 100% on the side with the players. I don't think they all have his backs. I think there's cliques in the locker room now that are on the fence. They're either with him, not with him, or on the fence on saying, do we want to continue with him? And that's what I feel like. And you hear from the press conferences from Fonseca, you see it where the starters who usually start don't start or don't even get called up. Jimenez was a bright side, but that's still disregarding what's going on this season. The bigger problem is how long are we going to still see Fonseca? What's going to be his last match where his do or die match? That's what I'm thinking.
We thought it was a couple times, and then obviously they come up with big performances. Real Madrid, the game against Inter, winning the derby.
The Madrid game bought him a lot of more time than we think.
Before we get to the next topic, too, I want to remind everybody: if you're watching, you could see the jacket that I'm wearing. We still got our white and blue ones available. There's a couple left. ItalianFootballTV.com. If you're just listening on audio, make sure you go over to our website. You could cop it, grab it. They've been flying like crazy, but we bought a lot of stock.
And we're not
this drop,
and we're not restocking and just like the jerseys. So guys, get them out now before we get a bunch of bombarded with emails saying if we have any more.
Do I have to put the order on the computer? I need a small. And
I gave you one.
Okay, no, mine. So my daughter likes it too. My son likes it too. All right. So anyway, let me just go back to soccer. You thought that the Milan subject is over. It's not. I'll tell you the reason, because you have to hear my take. Okay.
Are you going to miss out on Champions League?
No, we're not. We're not. First of all, you guys are all gloom and doom because I know that's what you enjoy seeing AC Milan just doing not as well as we used to it. I know you guys enjoying that, but here's the deal. If we would have won 1-0 yesterday, because the chances, we had 4 or 5 very good chances. Okay, so listen, the ball didn't go in. Unfortunately, you know that the situation that I'm trying to explain, because you are living the same situation with your team. So and it went just pretty well. I mean, we tied, you guys tied, but in a different fashion. What I'm trying to say is this: Fonseca has been scapegoated unjustly, and I'll tell you the reasons why. First of all, he didn't have much to say about who you bring into the team. Fonseca was signed for this team 2 weeks before the Campionato, 3 weeks before the Campionato started. They signed him, they brought him over here to the United States, he put the team together, and he found himself to play the first game of the Serie A, technically without not even a week of training.
That's not true.
Second of all, relax.
That's not true, but
let me finish. There is something going on that we don't know. We can only speculate on the lockers room. For what's coming out on the newspaper, on the press conference, it's still a minimal, but it shouldn't even be coming out. It should have been handled into the locker room with some different kind of leadership. The leaders, they don't let anything get out of the door of the locker room. Everything that happens, you just leave it over there and you work things out. One thing that I happen to agree is that the ownership, it's not there. It's only there when it counts. The celebration of the 125th anniversary, they had to be there because I said, where are the owner?
But Furlani's there every day. He's the
Furlani,
CEO.
but not Cardinale. Cardinale is the owner. He's the face of AC Milan right now. So
the owners are not always there.
Have somebody with a leadership role like Ibra be there all the time.
Furlani's the CEO. He runs the team. He's there every single day.
Yeah, but Furlani, it's not the player. Zlatan is the champion. Zlatan is the icon. Zlatan.
He's an advisor for Red Bull.
I know.
What has he done?
Relax. Zlatan should be given even a much bigger role for me, for something to change. Because if Zlatan has a lot more to say. Zlatan will go in the locker room and you will hear everybody silent. They will zip their mouth and that will be it. Theo Hernandez, if he's been sat down, is because the coach knows. The coach is expecting you to play. If you're not playing, why would you think that Fonseca makes things up and said, oh, Theo Hernandez is not starting. He's not doing his job.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Ibrahimovic is
Ibrahimovic
there.
did not object to that.
But Ibrahimovic
Sit him
is
down.
there. Yeah, Ibrahimovic is there. He should come out after every game and talk if he's supposed to be
he
this.
does.
I'm sure
he
Ibra.
does.
Well, he said he said that they
Locker
agree.
room,
They
yeah.
agree with Fonseca.
Yeah,
They said it. They
But
agree with Fonseca.
you don't come out and you don't talk about it. The one thing I would agree to, I don't agree the fact that you had only 1 week to practice. But what I would say is for
Just a
Fonseca, it's for Fonseca, the same way that I think we have to give time to Thiago Motta. If you decide on a person, you have to give some time. And I just think it was the wrong decision to hire him in the first place. And second, I also would agree with Antonio. The players that were brought in did not serve the purpose. We were talking, we'll get to, I guess, Juventus, but with the Vice Vlahovic. But Milan needed defenders. Pavlovic has been
Not good.
non-existent, I would say. And then Emerson Royale also
Another flop.
How the hell
not
did
really
they
doing
choose
anything.
him?
So, with all the bad and all the good, there was some issues with this market that I think a lot of people were left with their head scratching.
Let's talk about Juventus because they're another team. They can't win. They can't win games.
But they can't
This
lose
was-
either.
Thiago Motta is what we were writing.
Thiago Motta.
We should
I
never
love
have told him
that. I love that.
I love
Oh, Thai, Thiago Motta, Thai.
10
I love it. I love it.
Thiago.
Thai.
10 ties
He likes
in
the tie, right,
16 Serie A matches for him. And the frustrating thing with Juventus is they get this amazing win against Manchester City, and you think that's the moment, kind of like Milan, where they could beat Real Madrid, they could beat Inter. You say this is the moment that they're going to step on the pedal. They finally have started to click, and you expect it's a toss-up. You're playing Venezia at home. 20th plays Venezia. I've watched Venezia play. They create their own problems. They struggle in so many different aspects. And Juventus get the goal. They get the goal. They're up 1-0, and you say, there we go. They're gonna manage this out. They're gonna go for it, and then they stop playing. They stop playing for one reason or another. It's hard to explain. You leave Venezia in, and then you have to say the truth. Juventus are lucky. They're lucky that they even tied the game. Once again, in the 90-plus minute, 93rd minute, they get a penalty kick, and then Vlahovic, he's fighting with the fans, and it all went from 90 minutes of a disaster, which you thought it could have started a really good cycle. And the win against Manchester City pretty much means nothing when you can't beat Venezia. And now you're even looking at the fans, and they're flipping out on Thiago Motta. They're flipping out on a lot of the players. They don't think they're risking a Champions League football again. What do you think? What do you think is going wrong? What's gone wrong?
I don't know.
You don't get paid enough to find.
Neither does Motta, Gaetano.
You say you got to give him more time.
More time.
There are a lot of injuries, but not when you play against Venezia, who's number 20. There's no excuse for the injuries. There's no excuse for more time. You're supposed to win, and you're supposed to win decisively against a team like Venezia. So, I mean, I understand that they have issues with the midfield, but I really cannot explain the talent that there is in that team. I mean, Conceição is a nice little player.
Why'd you have to add the little?
He's a little guy. He's a little guy. Mike, don't take it personally yourself too. You're not you're just a little maybe an inch taller with your hair too.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
They said that Bremer, they're missing Bremer. The way that Thiago plays, he needs somebody from the back that comes out and knows what to do with the ball. So that was it's a big miss, but not against Venezia. Against Venezia, there is no excuse. So I don't know.
I agree.
I was salivating, my God.
I'm no worse than this. I was like, take some time, whatever. A few draws, he'll come back. But he still hasn't found it. And it's still a different position than for Milan because, first of all, Motta's on the side of building something. This is his first real team. It's still a project. But, yeah, it's still not, like Gaetano said, it's not acceptable. It's not an excuse. But regardless of what happens, he's probably the safest coach in Serie A. I don't think he's going to get sacked
No,
at all.
I don't think so.
Even if
You made a face.
even if they continue it, regardless.
You made a face?
No, I don't think
Just
he's
gonna
gonna get
take
sacked
time.
now. But
I don't think there's going to be any pressure. on him.
Where is the fairness of here? Thiago Motta, he's got better,
It's different projects though, Gaetan.
different project. What is the project?
Because they
You
brought
got
Motta-
Juventus have the
Giuntoli.
second youngest
They
team
brought
in the
Motta
league.
for the future.
Let me tell you
Did
something.
they not?
Let me tell you something. Thiago Motta, I think.
Time Motta.
Thiago Motta. I love that. Anyway, he bargained more than what,
He bit off more than he could show.
he bid. Yeah. So I think what's going on in Juventus, you got to go Giuntoli. Oh, this guy, look, Napoli wins this, that. They bring Giuntoli over there. So what they do, they get into this stupid fight with the best player of Serie A that he wanted to be part of the project, even though there was a little back and forth in the beginning with Chiesa. The guy said, no, you know what? You pissed me off. There is no way. Even if you beg me to come and play, you're not going to play.
not
So
even playing.
Chiesa gets shipped out. Okay? That's it. It's over. You found yourself now with only Vlahovic without any backup. Milik is still injured. I'm not sure if and when he's going to come
They
back.
keep saying he's coming back, but
And with a couple very young, talented guys.
Yeah.
One of them, Fagioli. Then you have Yildiz. And then you have Conceição. The team is there. Unfortunately, things are not clicking exactly the same way. On AC Milan, we are in a bad space.
but for different reasons. I see different reasons. I see Milan always falling into the same trap of not knowing their identity. I think Thiago Motta's team does have an identity. I think they know how they want to play, but there's still mistakes and there's growing pains along the way. I'm not justifying it, but it's a very young team. It's the second youngest team in the league. Only Parma has a younger squad, and you still should be able to win games, like we said, against Venezia. I think it'll come though. I think it'll come. It's that in the final third, they're really struggling, and it's scary what's happening with Kopp Miners too, because he's another one. He scores the goal, and you think, all right, now is going to be the time where he needed a little bit of adjustment period, and you can't just use the excuse of he was good in an Atalanta system.
No.
You can't use that excuse.
Mike was here when we were watching the game. When Venezia was winning 2-0, there were jewels coming out of my mouth. I was
weren't winning.
salivating.
2-1.
2-1, yeah, they were winning 2-1. I was salivating at the idea, oh my God, if they lose at home, I can't wait to see Messina and Grella's face over there on CBS. It will be the highlight of my life.
Wow, that's pretty low.
So
That's the highlight of your
sure
life?
enough,
That's pretty sad.
I was saying, don't worry, guys, they're not going to lose it. It's either going to be a penalty. I always said that, right, Mike? And sure enough, boom, they give it the penalty. I mean, legit or not legit, they got the penalty. Vlahovic scores, and all of a sudden, I hear that Vlahovic got pissed off with the fan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was
They were
during
saying
the celebration.
They were saying a fan was threatening him. He was saying bad stuff, and
Yeah.
Vlahovic responded. I mean, listen, the fans, you can't threaten the player. You can't threaten.
Yeah,
player.
but Marco, the fan, you have to just block them all out.
I know, but we're people, and people have
I
emotions, and sometimes you could lose it, and then 2 seconds later, he apologized. I mean, I don't see it as that big of a deal. You could lose your mind. There's a lot of emotions going on. I'm worried more about the field than I am.
I think I
anything
see the
else.
writing on the wall. Vlahovic is not going to stay in Torino. I'm telling you.
You're probably right.
Apparently, one of the fans told him, "Come to Milan," and he got really mad.
I don't know.
No,
Listen,
it's a joke.
we
That was a joke.
don't need Vlahovic and AC Milan. It's a big problem. I see the writing on the wall. I said Vlahovic, Manchester City or Manchester United.
Man City.
Another one? I don't know. I just think this Juventus team, Juventus, what's their slogan? Disappointment.
Disappointment.
That's the slogan.
Fino alla fine, but also,
Storia di un grande amore. That's
not
the
really
slogan, right?
but
their
you have to win at all costs.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Vincere
right?
non è importante, è l'unica cosa che conta.
Okay. So it's the only thing that matters. And so I think with these players, you can say the second youngest team, which is great and all this stuff, but for the fans and for Juventus, that is the slogan, right? This is what the Juventus identity is. So you have to find ways to win. And I think when it comes to, playing a beautiful style of football, that is all great. But if you don't win, you're not going to last long in Italy.
There's two issues, though, I think. I think the expectations were way too high, where people thought that Juventus were going to win the Scudetto. I think all of us sat here and said that they were not going to.
well.
No,
I never
but
said
not even
that.
no.
I never said that.
Before the season. this Juventus was never going to be a title contender. That's number one. So your expectations were sky high. Number two, I think a lot of people didn't watch Thiago Motta's Bologna. They think that he's Vincenzo Italiano, that attacks and is nonstop. No. Bologna had the third best defense in the league last year. They conceded 32 goals in 38 matches. They were a very structured and organized side that could play compact. Not that different from what you see a lot of times with Juventus. So that's another thing, that they thought he's revolutionary. Oh my God, he's going to attack you for 90 minutes. That's not what Thiago Motta has ever been.
He has a very slow approach also, because there's a lot of lateral passing that goes on, even with his Bologna. The only thing is the movement is more radical, I guess, if you want to look at the style of play, because it's a lot of zonal and picking up on the space, right? So you have this flexibility, but the ball movement, it takes time before the ball gets up. It's not an Italiano, as you say, that's vertical.
It's not
Or
direct.
Paladino,
It's not as
that's a
direct.
But
more
for some
vertical
reason,
style.
he's
It's the
a young
tempo.
coach.
I see
He
the
got them
tempo.
Bologna
The
scoring
tempo is
goals
not-
and doing well. But when you look at it, if you actually watch his Bologna, you shouldn't be surprised. And I think that's also why he got the job. If you look at the history of Juventus, they tried to get Maurizio Sarri. They tried to get this high attacking coach. I'm just going to keep using Vincenzo Italiano for the example. They were never going to go for that. It fits their history of what they really wanted with Thiago Motta. We can move on and talk about other stuff.
No, wait. We
you bringing it
no,
back?
I want to just bring
Back to
something
Milan.
else up. I wanted to say that we did nothing but criticizing Allegri last year, and Allegri had at least 7-8 points more at this point.
You can't compare Allegri's third season to
different,
Motta's
honestly.
first season.
Okay, so
You
but,
should compare Allegri's first season to Motta's first season. And also, the team was very different. That team, the average age of that team was 28 years old.
yeah, but let's compare the Allegri first season with
has less points.
Thiago Motta.
I looked at it before last week. He had less points.
He had less points.
I could check it again.
Well, listen.
Why don't we'll let Peter talk about Inter, and I'll search it up for you.
All right. I'll tell you what, I see the writing on the wall. This Juventus is not going to make the Champions League either. I mean, that was the first question that you guys asked.
Yeah.
I think you should be asking yourself the same question.
Who's your top four,
Is
then?
Juventus
I think I
going to
did.
be part of the Champions League?
Who's your top four?
I don't know. I'll answer that after we speak about Inter.
Was this the Inter you've been waiting for?
Yes, finally. But 6-0 is great, and it's a statement win, obviously. But you get 3 points. It's the same as if you win 1-0.
on.
No, this is the reality.
This guy.
So
Come on.
this is the reality.
I would say
Marco, this is the
I would
reality.
I would say thank God.
Because guess what? You know why? Because I'm upset about the way that we approached the game in Champions League. That's why. That's my point here.
Okay.
So yeah, you can thrash Lazio. We know you have good players. We know that the team, when they gotta play, they could turn it on and at any moment, right? But you cannot have such a two-faced approach to games. How can it be that this Inter team in the Campionato is free-flowing and able to find every way to win and score goals without any issues, but then when it comes to Champions League, we're just calculating everything. We're staying in front. We're taking our chances, and that's it. How is it possible we didn't have one shot on target in Champions League? One shot on target. No, my thing is we cannot calculate results in Champions League. It's important. Maybe you're not as open, but we have to play our style. We are Inter, and we're a top team within Champions League as well. So for me, I can't look at a game like today and say the next Champions League we're gonna just sit back and wait for the opponent to take it to us.
It feels like if you want to play, if Inter really want to, they could do this every week.
And so listen, even in this game, all the goals until the end were scored by defenders, midfielders.
No Lautaro, by the way.
Lautaro still hasn't
But
scored.
Lautaro helps the
No,
team.
he makes a
Taremi
lot
hasn't
of-
scored.
he makes a lot of-
Thuram scored, no?
It's kind of like fake to say, because you say he doesn't score and it makes it feel like he's not
he's
involved
part-
at
he's
all.
part of the
But he
plays.
really
No,
helps. Inter.
Lautaro is very, very much involved in the attack. What I'm saying is with this Inter, we don't need one player to score.
Gotcha.
We have a lot of players, and I mean, the fullbacks are scoring, the center back, the
Scoring with
midfield.
assist.
So everything is working well, and this team, you can tell when the guys are, well oiled and ready to go.
They play
There's no
beautiful.
stopping.
I really
There's no stopping.
don't know a team that plays like
But
that.
I know you're saying with it's not a big deal with Lautaro and not scoring if he's helping in other ways. But sometimes, especially when the going gets tough towards the end of the season and towards the end of the season for Champions League too, sometimes you're going to need that striker. Are you worried at all with him not being as clinical?
Lautaro has always been a bit streaky. But if you look at every 9, they all are. There's very few that score game in and game out. I was looking even at the list of the top goal scorers in Serie A, right? A lot of these guys have a .50 average. And these are the top goal scorers. .50 meaning they score once every 2 games. Okay? So Lautaro, I think he has a higher average.
5 goals, right?
Huh?
What's he on? 5 goals?
I don't know the exact amount. Maybe in this year he's not at 0.5, but last year the goals that he scored, that's unrealistic to score every game.
He's got 5 goals in the Serie A.
You know, to score every game. So, yes.
Doesn't have to score anymore because he got a long contract right now.
He's the captain. He's the number 10.
The thing is, it helps
He's
though,
gonna
that
score.
you guys have another striker, and on top of that, you guys have a lot more players that score goals. If it wasn't for that, then maybe we'd be talking more about it.
Of course. But look, even Thuram this year has picked up the slack. So,
He's clinical.
you know, the important thing is that the team is still going forward, still winning games, and finding ways to score goals, which is vital for this team. You know, Lautaro is gonna, when he unlocks, there's no one that's going to be able to
hopefully
stop
he
him.
heats up at the right time. By the way, I got your numbers. Allegri's first season, he had 27 points. Thiago Motta's Juventus right now has 28 points. Allegri's first season, 22 goals scored. Thiago Motta's 28 goals scored. Allegri's first year, 16 goals conceded. Thiago Motta's 12 goals conceded. So beats him in every category with a younger team. Just want to throw that out there.
Anto's still trying to figure something.
What position was Juventus?
He's gonna keep going. He's gonna
What
keep
position
going.
was Juventus on the standing? Forget about the stats.
Juventus
the stats,
were in
the
5th place.
And what are right now? 8, 7.
Juventus are in 6th place. So 1 place difference.
There you go. That was the only thing that you didn't mention.
What's more losses?
Hello.
What's more losses?
So listen, about the bottom line is
Either way, no, we're not going to go. We're not
many
gonna go back
times
to
the
Thiago Motta.
possession or all of those stats, noi chiamiamo possesso sterile in Italian, means a possession.
They're all possession.
Yeah, a possession that means nothing.
Okay, we're not going to go back to that.
Okay, thank God. So
You have anything to add about Inter or Lazio? Lazio, we were actually criticizing Inter. Inter were sloppy. They were pinned back. They were sitting in a low block. It was Lazio that had the momentum. They were taking the game, and then the penalty changes it. Then they score the second goal, and Lazio went through 3 center backs. Then no Romagnoli. Then Gigo comes in. Then Hilo goes down. Then Gigo comes in. Then Gigo has to come out. And they lost too much. And I think for Lazio, when you pull that many players out and you're playing against Inter, and usually they're very good at getting back into matches, I don't want to read too much into this for Lazio. I didn't think that they were a Scudetto contender coming into this. I think that's too high of expectation. An amazing season for Lazio would be finishing in top 5, which hopefully Italy has 5 spots. It's looking very good. I think we have a 68% chance of getting that 5th spot at this point so far. Lazio's main goal should be getting in a Champions League spot. The 6 is going to hurt them. It probably does really hurt, but it doesn't take them away from the amazing season that they're having, both in European competition and also now.
But if they don't win, they can just win Europa League and they'll go through Champions League that way.
God, that would be amazing.
And Lazio have the best record right now, and they're according to the bookies, they're right now most likely to win it.
There's a couple good
But
teams
still,
out there.
it doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying how well they're
Manchester
doing.
United is
What
still
is
there.
the Champions League teams don't go into Europa League, right? Did they change that?
They don't.
officially?
They can't fall.
They don't drop
fall.
down.
Yeah,
So
they
like-
don't drop back.
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
gotta win.
That's
It's whoever
even
you
good.
see there,
Yeah.
that's who you're going to get.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not
Then
bad
if,
at all.
Like, you know, PSG, let's say, went down to Europa League, and you're like,
So I have a question for you, Da, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You could say that you don't want to answer if you don't.
No
if you
comment,
don't have
no
to.
Gonna
comment.
get him in trouble over here.
This could get you in trouble.
No, it's not going to get me in trouble.
What you
It
had for
could get
dinner
you in
last-
trouble.
I don't know.
What you had for
I'm
dinner
letting you
last
know.
night? What you had for dinner last night?
I have a feeling it's right.
So we talk about a lot on the podcast celebrating against your former team. Now, Vincenzo Italiano, a Sicilian just like you, you've met him before. You spoke to him.
It's German.
Fiorentina also hold a special place. I think people know with this group. He wins a game convincingly wins the game. I think Vincenzo Italiano is very underrated. I'm happy with the season that he's doing. We could talk about that after. But then he celebrates in a manner that upset all the Viola fans and even Daniele Prade, another man that you know.
Daniele is a friend.
He came out and saying, I learned a lot about the man, Vincenzo Italiano. What did you think about this?
Did you see the celebrations, by the way,
He
or
did,
no?
he did. Big
He
time.
was fist bumping the air, going crazy.
What did
That
you
was
think?
Nice. I was surprised.
Okay. So, what do we play the game for? The game is played to score goals. And when you score goals, that's the best thing that can happen to a team is to score a goal. And you're so happy that you scored this goal. What I don't agree is when you disrespect, when you do it in a way to disrespect the other team. There were years ago in American football, you would score and then they would do things, the players, but it was very disrespectful to the other team. And they say, you cannot do that anymore in American football. I believe that if you do it, if your team wins and you jump up in the air because you're happy that your team won, I see nothing wrong with that. And I would add, if you want, about Zaniolo, who came in after 2 minutes, he scored a goal, he jumped up in the air. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you go especially on the other side, and you have the other spectator from the other fans, and you go and you keep going, antagonizing.
That's bad.
I don't like.
So what did you think of Italiano? Did you think it was
I think he overdid it.
a little bit?
I think he overdid it a little bit.
I'm surprised. I'm even surprised you said that.
No. Listen,
surprised.
I'm all for celebration.
Yeah, that's why.
But you have to do it in a classy way.
The one thing I would add is before the game, which it is always so much it's so easy to take a moment and then to create a narrative around that, and there's so much emotions. I even understand Daniele Prade, who if he sees that, he could think maybe let's say they did have something in the past. You could use that to justify, oh, he's doing that because we had this argument, which in the moment doesn't mean that it actually was that. It could be Italiano feels so much pressure. Everybody's saying so much about Bologna. And then you look at it, and we could do the stats like what Thiago Motta had last year, and they're exactly the same. He actually has more goals scored. He's got a better goal difference, same amount of points. They lost Zirkzee. They lost Ferguson. They lost Calafiori. They're playing Champions League matches. So it could be also that built up. And then you got to go up against a Fiorentina who's doing well. But also before the game, he went up and he hugged and he's kissing all the players, and I think he did show respect in that manner before the match. And then after the game, there's so much pressure on them at this level that he let it out. I do agree. It felt excessive. It felt like I was watching. I was like, oh boy, this feels a lot against your former team. But maybe I'm naive and maybe I like Italiano too much that I said, I felt like it was something else and not necessarily that, but I could be wrong.
Let me just say, I caught this. Italiano 4 months ago was still on his way out from Fiorentina. The Campionato ended. They didn't do extremely well. He didn't do well in the Conference Cup because a couple times. Listen to me. I know. But for Florence, you go to the final and you lose couple times.
Yeah,
it was kind of.
Went to 3 finals.
He brought Fiorentina back to Europe for the first time in 5 years.
That was a disappointment. So what I saw on his going under in front of the Tifosi and doing what he did, in other words, it was more a disrespect toward the management, because as if somebody wants to say, "Screw you, I'm out of there." Thank God, now I'm here.
Did he go to the Fiorentina fans?
No, he was behind his. He did it behind where they were sitting. So I'm thinking is the
where the tunnel was. He did it.
Yeah, he was about to go out.
I think it was to the Bologna. If he went to the Fiorentina fans, then I will take back what I said.
It's disrespectful, very disrespectful.
Going towards the tunnel,
Yeah.
but
Very disrespectful.
He ran some yards to someone and he hugged.
somebody
but it
was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
one
know
of
what
his
it was.
assistants. or
To me,
something.
very disrespectful.
No, I don't think.
There was no business
So you
for him
brought
to
up
do
Zaniolo.
that.
Are you talking about the one that Gasperini just mentioned that he shouldn't celebrate against Cagliari?
I'm talking about the last one, the one.
Cagliari.
Against Roma, no?
No,
No.
against
Cagliari.
Cagliari.
I'm talking about the one that happened
This weekend.
This weekend.
Oh, this week.
Gasperini said he shouldn't celebrate like that.
After close of day.
Let's talk about Atalanta's incredible form.
I'm gonna open it later.
10 Serie A wins in a row. from Atalanta. And what I found crazy is in that time frame, 9 different goal scorers in those 10 last games. And this is a game, again, you do brick by brick. They're winning against Cagliari. They were getting smashed by Cagliari. If it wasn't for Carnesecchi saving them in the first half, they could have been down a couple of goals. But that's what winning teams do. Winning teams win these sorts of matches, and then they get Zaniolo off the bench, and Bellanova again. Atalanta's scary to me. Atalanta's very, very scary.
Right now, Carnesecchi is the best goalkeeper. What he did against Cagliari, I mean, he made saves that I watched and said, this is
weren't supposed to happen. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is a yard away, and he's unbelievable. I never seen a goalkeeper make those kind of saves.
I
the
found
second
more
best
to be the mistakes of the people that they took the shot at the Carnesecchi.
He's the second best Italian goalkeeper. He should be the vice to Donnarumma in the national team.
I agree with that.
He's much better than Vicario for me, and it's really not close. The other argument could be Di Gregorio. We have a lot of goalkeepers, but for me, Carnesecchi proved that he needs to get called up. Yeah. Everybody agrees?
Yeah.
No argument to that.
We'll say with Atalanta, but what makes them even more scary, and we said it.
I would say Di Gregorio, Carnesecchi. Listen, Di Gregorio, Carnesecchi, they're pretty much right there. What did he just say?
Yeah, exactly.
Cut him off.
Nobody knows.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I was saying what makes Atalanta more scary, and we've said it a bunch this season, is the bench.
Oh, yeah.
You have the luxury to have, Zaniolo, Samardic. These are guys that everybody wanted a couple of years ago. So you have these guys that are all on your team. Things don't work out, you can figure something out. Even at halftime, he got rid of
Cuadrado,
Retegui, whatever. He's like, hey, we got to change something. Something's not working.
Yeah. Somebody said this a long time ago. I can't remember who it was. It was a Roma legend. He said Zaniolo should be playing as a striker. Long time. But this is when Zaniolo was kind of like an 8. Remember when he was a midfielder that was trying to be like box to box?
At the very beginning.
It wasn't Cassano. No. Might have been Boban. Maybe it was Boban.
His profile, he's what, 6'3"? He's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy.
Can we agree?
I'm pretty.
Can we agree if Gasperini can make Zaniolo into a player again? It's a miracle. The guy's a miracle worker.
Coach has a chance to do it.
Guys, can we just agree that if Gasperini takes the national team, we are winning two more World Cups?
He's not a
Why not
national
3?
team coach.
2 more.
Why not 3?
Because
This wouldn't work. He wouldn't
Why
work.
not
we only
three?
need 2 more, because 2 more we're going to overtake Brazil.
He wouldn't
Like
work
for
in
that
national
profile,
team.
you could even be the
You never
target
know.
9.
He has
As
players every day to
6'3".
do that for me.
1 meter 90.
Big boy. Why don't we talk about another team who's
Napoli.
freaking keeps falling? No, Roma. Roma. How the hell did they lose 2-0 to Como? This is the most shocking result. I mean, maybe we shouldn't be shocked because they're only 1 point separating Como and Roma. And I have to say, a lot of Como games that I've watched, they really do start games well. They play good football. I think Fabregas has the right ideas. He's transmitting the ideas. Usually they're within a match and they're close. They're competing. And then the quality starts to dipper off later on. They get tired. You have to put different players in who are not able to keep up the same momentum. And then they fall off. And it's credit to Como for keeping Fabregas, for believing in the idea, because there was a time when people were questioning Fabregas. And I really think he's really a good coach. And I like him a lot. Also, beautiful story. Gabrieloni from Como. He scored in 4 divisions for Como. He scored in Serie D, Serie C, Serie B, and Serie A. Only 5 players have ever done that before. He's been there since 2017, so he's been at the bottom. He scores his first goal in Serie A at 30 years old. Another beautiful story to this Como.
Gave the assist for the second goal too.
Oh yeah,
on the breakaway.
I think he passed it to Nico Potts.
Yeah.
Right? So beautiful from them, but the story really is about Roma.
I think it's such a fragile environment right now. So
believe it or not, Pete.
yeah, again, mica porca puttana.
Can't cut him off like
Mamma
that.
mia, che c'ha?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Believe it or not, P, I'm going to cut you off again.
You're lucky that he remembers what he's saying.
Bye,
I would
bye,
get
Pete.
thrown
That's
off.
why I think that's the problem.
Pete.
He forgets what he says, so that's why he's got to spit it out.
Sorry, Pete.
It's a fragile environment. I'll let you talk in 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes.
Oh.
Count. Start counting. So, like, and the thing is that sucks is because Ranieri, you think he has a calming presence. The team now, they're showing a little fight. Europa League, things just looks like they're switching back on. And then again, a poor performance. And, aside from the team, even the fans, everybody, it's just a tense situation right now. So, even, this game, they lost in the 90th minute. The 2 goals that they scored were in extra time.
extra
So
time,
the game could have been
Freaking
0-0.
Dybala has that chance.
It's not
You
great,
think
but
that it's gonna go in.
you know. So it just looks like everything is going against them right now. I think they'll be okay ultimately, but it's
What's
just
okay?
staying in Serie A.
Left side of the table. Top 10.
That's
Top 10.
crazy. That's crazy that we say
Top
that
10.
now. Not get relegated.
Look where they are.
2 points, but
Look where they are right now.
Top 10.
That's so
Top 10 is
embarrassing.
Yeah, that's-
ultimately the goal of
that's
Roma
what
this
Oh,
you have
year.
to do.
Top 10.
Does
And-
top 10 even? Does it even matter if you're on the left or right as long as you don't get relegated?
no,
at
but
this
it's
point?
really bad if you're in the right
Listen,
side of the table.
Como's got some quality.
They do. I agree.
Okay,
They're not bad.
Cutrone, the way he took the ball before he made the assist for the goal, Cutrone turned the defender. He stood him up over there, and then he turns, and then he puts the ball right on the middle. I mean, Svilar got the ball between his legs, but it was Cutrone technically. 70% of the goal was Cutrone.
They do have a lot of quality.
Sergio Roberto has been playing well. I was watching the game. I like Sergio Roberto. I don't understand how can Sergio Roberto find himself playing in Como. There was
They
no one.
might, Dele Alli might too. They're looking at Dele
Did you see
Alli.
that first goal though that Como scored? He turned, I think, Celik inside out. He like had the ball, I think, completely switched.
That's a surprise.
It was
Right.
but the way it happened, it looked like a what do you call it? Like a freestyle video of a guy just breaking his ankles and just continuing going. I was like, oh my! He turned him inside out.
What videos
I think
you watch, Mike?
What do you mean? Like, he completely fooled him.
Which cartoon you mean? Which cartoon did you watch, Mike?
Guys in a cartoon.
5,
Did
4,
you
3,
see
2, 1.
Did you see the goal?
Yeah, I saw the goal.
I thought it was crazy. He sat him down. I was like, oh my god! Doing that in the added time, I was like,
It'll be a process for Roma. More struggle, more pain, but Ranieri is ultimately the guy. And if you need anybody for a relegation race, he is the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
There's nothing really.
For me,
to-
there's no question
at this point. What are you
about it.
doing?
You just wish things could be
You
different.
just have to see the debt now.
Oh boy,
Like $900 million.
jeez.
Get
Not
out.
good.
Roma.
"Hey, you can
Not
help
good.
out. You can help out."
I don't know about that.
Let's start a GoFundMe. Buy some more jackets. ItalianFootballTV.com. Maybe we'll help donate. I asked you guys a question to come prepared with the name. Who is one rising star in Serie A that you think is going to break out? That you're backing. You put your money on this player and you say he is going to be a star. And don't pick somebody like Yildiz. I don't want a name like that. I don't want a name that
Nobody picked him except you.
Paul Scholes is gonna come out and mention.
Yielded.
No one picked him.
Who cares?
Who like
I didn't have too much time to think
Yeah,
about
we told us 2 minutes
Yeah,
before.
I know.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I got 2 for you.
I told you an hour before.
I got Camarda and I got Jimenez right now. And maybe Liberali. I put Liberali. I want to take my time on Liberali.
All right,
Camarda, Jimenez e Liberali sono tutti e 3 predestinati. Can you translate that,
English.
Mike? Predestined. Okay? Predestinati. Predestinati. That means
Predestined.
that's it. It's there.
Jimenez looks really good. I have to give Antonio credit on that one. Jimenez, I liked Jimenez a lot.
Look good.
He looks really good. Liberali's still raw.
One player that I've watched in the last couple of games that really impressed me is Castro from
Good call.
Argentinian from Bologna.
20 years old.
Bologna. He's got some skills.
Yep.
This guy, oh man, he gave a pass with his heel. Man, it was fantastic.
He played really well against Fiorentina as well. He doesn't score the goal, but he does a lot of dirty work. He's got 5 goals, 6 assists, all competitions. And he was not supposed to be the first starter. They bought Dalinga. They spent a lot of money for Bologna. It's 15 million. They spent 15 million from Toulouse. They got the striker, and it was Castro who was able to rise up. He mimics his game after Tevez. That's his idol. He's got that Argentinian grit about him that he's going to fight for every single ball. The assist that he gave against Juventus was fantastic.
Maybe Spalletti call him up before Argentina does.
And that's the thing that I like.
That's right.
That's the thing that Italiano was always missing was the striker in the last months with Fiorentina and even Bologna. I remember watching them in the Champions League, and I said, "Oh my God, if they had a striker, he'd be able to score." So finally, it's starting to click. Good one. You want?
Even one
Oh,
more.
no.
We were talking about Como. Hey, listen.
No.
Okay, I'll let them go because I know they're not going to take him. I'm going to take him anyway.
Anto.
Go, Mike.
I haven't picked anyone.
You
out
wanna
of
go?
my
I
mind.
would say so. I don't know what his ceiling will be, but I think Pisilli for me could be the next Roman gladiator for this Roma team in a sense where, he's a very good player, very sound player. Obviously, when a team struggles, it's hard for the younger players to show, but I like his press conferences, and the maturity that he has in speaking to the media, but also the passion that he has for Roma, for the game. So it's beautiful to see. And then also he can back it up, on the field. So again, I don't know if he'll be the superstar everybody wants, but I think he can be an important pick, part of this Roma team and hopefully for Serie A.
In a time where a lot of Roma players, I would say there's quality, but there's not always the spirit. And I know they could go through many coaches. Pisilli is one of those that actually represents what's needed. And even Fonseca spoke about that sometimes. He said, I would rather play Camarda and I don't know who the other player that he referenced. I can't remember. I don't remember the other one that he referenced, but he said, I'd rather play these young kids who want to fight, who have the right attitude, who are going to come in and do the things that I ask for, rather than just the big name. So Pisilli is a good shout. You want to go or you want me to go? You have a name?
I'll go. I'll go with the short time I had to think of just trying to think of a name. Maybe Como Spaz. He's just scored and he's been a regular. You're going to say that? God, yeah, good thing I went first.
Good.
And he's a regular for Argentina already. If Argentina's calling up a young striker like that, and he's already a starter for Como, he's already blooming, and what better place for a young Argentinian striker to bloom than the Serie A? We have a rich history of having, legendary players that are Argentinian, obviously, to play. And he's already getting called up, which is very hard. We're talking about another Argentinian Castro. If you look at the talent that they call up, and so many players that don't get called up for Argentina, that would be starting for any other national team, not just getting called up starting, it's mental how much talent they have. And it shows that there's a lot of promise for him.
He's a proper 10. You don't get many players like him very often, and you could even see the talent early on in the season, and things didn't always go his way. I love that he got the goal. I mean, it was a tap in the end. He was still there.
You ran.
No, and I love him. He's really talented. I know Real Madrid have a buyback clause on him, and I think
a real player.
I think they even have a 50% clause too if they do sell him on. But he's a spectacular talent and type of player that we don't get to see very often, and it's kind of a dying breed. I honestly, I was out of ideas, but there's one guy that I thought of too, and I haven't. The sample size is very small. Dominguez from Bologna. He's only played 4 times in Serie A. I know a lot of people might not know him, but he's 20 years old, and I'm telling you, this kid is so talented on the ball. I'm watching him against Fiorentina, and I'm saying everything that he's doing is right. It's always the right movement. It's always forward. He's kind of like Conceição, where he's a little guy, like you like to say, but he's really talented on the ball. Even against Juventus, I was watching the game against Juventus, and there's so many superstars, and for me, he was the one that kept catching my eye. I know he wasn't effective enough, but he's only played a couple matches in Serie A, and I thought it was an old player that I knew. When I saw Dominguez, I said, I know him, but I wasn't impressed. And then I realized he's a new player. He's somebody that I wasn't aware of before, so he'd be the one I go for.
Guys, keep an eye on Nicolussi Caviglia. He's one of my favorites.
You want to stat?
His name.
Box to box. This guy's unstoppable. His energy is contagious. I wish I had him on AC Milan. This guy here is unstoppable. I like this kid here. I cannot believe a team would give up on a talent like this. This guy, like you just said it before, he never does the wrong thing. It's all over the places. He's trying to take the ball away. Somebody else loses the ball. He's constructing the l'azione. Bam, 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 bam. It's all over.
You want a stat? You hate stats.
I hope it's a good one.
But I'll give you a
He
stat.
doesn't like stats. Now he wants to
I mean, he's the stats guy.
Nicolussi got the assist, right? It counted as his assist in the end? Okay.
Hopefully.
Either way.
What are you, his agent?
He's got 3 goals this season. Nicolussi
Already.
Caviglia.
There you go.
He's on loan from Juventus. They're expected to buy him.
Who's they?
Venezia is expected to buy him.
Oh.
From what I was reading.
Venezia, they have the right to.
Yes. Because he's on loan. From what I was reading, he has more goals. So he's on loan from Juventus. He's got more goals than Cup Miners, Douglas Luiz, Thuram, Fagioli, Locatelli, and Adzic.
all put together.
Combined. Combined.
Throw Morata in there too.
No, Morata is good.
That's kind of crazy, right?
I mean, but I like the kid. So how old is he? 21, 20?
I don't know. I remember watching him on the youth team of
I
Juventus,
think
and I
he's
always was
very
very impressed
young.
with him.
This kid here, he's got it. I think he's got it. 100%.
Actually, I think he's 24. I'm taking a
He
guess.
looks too
before I look.
young. He looks like a 21,
He's
22.
24, exactly. I remember thinking he looks younger than he is, and I looked him up.
2000.
we did the rules thing the other day, last podcast, and the new Serie A president. Did you see this? They're saying that he's in favor of VAR a chiamata challenge, like a challenge for the VAR. So I think
was listening to me.
But you know what it is? He gave an interview and he said he was watching IFTV Antonio on the podcast.
I love it. I love it. Don't lie to me.
Say something to him.
I've
He's
never said a
watching
lie.
this one.
In Italian, but
Thank you.
In
Thank
Italian.
you.
Lying for
Thank you.
In Italian.
President for-
Italian.
In italiano?
It's a joke.
Certo,
In
il presidente
Italian.
italiano.
Come si
Dai.
chiama? What's his name?
Signor Presidente.
Grazie,
Signor
signor
Presidente.
Presidente.
Mister.
Devi fare, non bisogna fidarsi del VAR e degli arbitri che ci abbiamo. Challenge them.
You know what he just said?
Biscotti.
You can't trust
Challenge
the VAR and
Say
you can't
Biscotti.
trust the
Can't trust
referees.
No, there's no Bescari. Okay? Challenge them. Okay?
Anybody else got
Oh,
anything else? I was going to look
I don't know
up.
who's going to be the next coach act. Nesta or Fonseca?
Simonelli. That's his name, by the way.
Nice.
Simonelli.
So, se tu vieni a Brooklyn, signor Simonelli, sei invitato qui al podcast.
Se
e ti
tu
portiamo-
vieni, se parli col presidente
Ma
e fai-
sì, che
e
siamo
dai
già
del tu.
amici. Se una persona come il signor Simonelli è d'accordo con quello che ha detto, siamo amici automaticamente. Quindi io del lei non lo posso mai dare a lui, perché lui è già un amico. Because he already agree with me. That's
He's
it.
already a friend. You don't know what his name
That's
is.
right. I don't even know the way he looks. But he's my friend. Hey,
Hold on.
5,
Close your-
4, 3,
Close your ears.
2,
Close your
1.
ears for a second.
Excuse me.
We could trick him so bad. We could trick him. He doesn't know how he looks. we could put Ryan in a suit and make him think that he's.
That's
that he has
right. You
president.
can trick me. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
We didn't
Make sure
say
you
anything
like,
about Napoli, by the way.
subscribe.
We
We
did?
did.
Yes,
we
we
did
did.
talk
Yes,
about
we did.
Napoli. Make sure you get your jackets. ItalianFootballTV.com. Vote for Highway Bagels. The
Oh,
link is in the
vai-
description, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.
Okay.
Forza.
And like I said, my way or the highway.